Hello, dear students. Welcome back to the discussion on the topic investigational use of drugs in the subject pharmacy practice. Up till now, in this topic, we have covered what is the definition of investigational drug. Okay, as a short recap, these are nothing but the compounds or mixture which have not been released by any legal authority like FDA for use in general for the uh, treatment of patients in any country, okay, respective country of the as per the authority is concerned. Okay, then the principles involved that we have seen. Okay, all hospitals and healthcare unit need uh, to frame their policies and procedure so that they can assure whatever application has been studied, okay, it will be safe for both, okay, the hospital as well as the patient. Means overall, whoever involved in the study should be having a proper safeguard. Okay, then a ethically and legal standards should be met, and the investigators who are conducting the screening or study, yes, so should be qualified investigators. Okay, then the patient should agree uh, willingly to sign the consent form. Okay, and they should be informed about each and every aspect of the study which is going to be conducted over them, as well as they should be informed with all the guidelines of the institutions or the studies. Then it is said that the principal investigator is always made responsible for all the things happening during the studies. Okay, hence he that principal investigator has to maintain all the case report forms and all the studies, so that it should be provided to the drug sponsor, that is the industry, institutions or FDAs, and when it is demanded. Then classification of the investigational drugs we have covered, that is class A, class B, class C and class D, four classes. Okay, in which class A are preliminary experimental stage drugs. Okay, class B which have passed the preliminary stage, uh, then class C they are approved by different authorities like USP, NF and even FDA for commercial distribution, while the D category or classification, these preparations have been accepted for use in the hospitals and they can be listed or mentioned in the hospital formulary. Another type of classification also we have gone through. As per that, there are general drugs, conditional drugs and investigational drugs. General drugs which are approved drugs, okay, and which are recommended as essential for patient care. Conditional drugs, they are approved for particular period of trial, okay, while the investigational drugs are not have got any legal permission by FDA. Then another point we have also covered is control of investigational use of drugs. Okay, the different forms are there. There is physician's data sheet, nurses data sheets and pharmacist data sheet. Their details we have gone through. Then in another topic we have covered is investigation of identification of investigational use of drugs. Identification means they should be separate, kept separate in the drugstore or in the hospital, having certain marking, like the label should be printed in red ink. Okay, they should have detailed information over the labels. Then we have covered the role of pharmacist in clinical evaluation, okay, as the pharmacologist, where uh, as and when that scientists find out new compounds, okay, they are needed to be tested for effectiveness and safety, and hence it can be proved by conducting clinical trials, and it can be conducted in two steps: preliminary and extended stage, okay, that also we have covered. And then this point, that is acting as impartial collaborator, that also we have covered. As per it, impartial collaborator means who is the inseparable, or said to be the part of studies itself, that pharmacist becomes, okay, who is fair enough or neutral, okay, in the studies. How that pharmacist is helping or becoming impartial collaborator is maintaining all the records, okay, also containing knowing about the codings of the double blind studies, okay, and all the information that is to be provided, that is for whole time, that is 24/7, it is needed to be made available, okay. Then next point, collecting, sorting, disseminating the essential information concerning the drug being studied. In this point, what is there, how the pharmacist is playing a role for uh, helping the principal investigator in the clinical trials or research whatever done in the hospitals. First of all, pharmacist should prepare investigational data sheet, okay, which is having information, a detailed information, which will be helpful to all the medical staff, okay, including doctors, physicians, then pharmacy department, and the pharmacist working there, and all the nursing staff. So that investigational data sheet, okay, are having the information about protocol, the drugs, okay, we already covered this topic what it is, okay, and that will be reviewed by the principal investigator, and after confirmation that will be disseminated, okay, disseminated means it will be distributed or circulated amongst all the medical staff, so that pharmacist should be doing it, okay. Collecting means just to go for detailed collection of the observations about the results, okay, the effectiveness of the drugs, investigational drugs. You have to sort out all the details properly, okay, and then go for distribution of that same information to the needy, that is whoever it needs: medical staff, pharmacist staff, nursing staff, whoever it may be, okay. The copies of this investigational data sheet are distributed to pharmacy staff also, because even generally the single pharmacist is performing the role of preparation of the investigational data sheet, but to the remaining staff of the pharmacy department, it is again needed to be circulated, okay, where the drug will be effectively evaluated for clinical studies. All the persons involved in prescription, dispensing, administering, and observing the actions of drugs are well informed and can truly function as a member of research team. Okay, very important thing. Whoever are involved in doing such functions like this prepare, first of all you can say is the prescription, who is prescribing, the doctors. Okay, then dispensing is done by the pharmacist, administering can be done by the nursing, and observing, okay, it is also done, can be done by actually all of these three. Okay, the doctors, pharmacist, and even nurses for finding out the whatever details are seen or observed on the patients. And by doing such by doing so, they can become a true member of the research team which is there. Okay, definitely what clinical trial, it is a research which is carried out in the hospitals. Then packaging and labeling of investigational drugs, okay, in multiple or unit dosage containers. See, this is done as per the requirements. Okay, in which form the investigational drugs exist, okay, or prepared, they should be packaged and labeled accordingly. And for this, all the things are needed to be done as per the standards and regulations like FDA standards. Okay, sometimes some pharmacopoeias like IP, they are saying, yeah, might be. Then the Pharmacy Act, the Packaging Act, specifically what they say is about the labeling and packaging of these specific investigational drugs is needed to be done accordingly. Okay, they should be matching with the standards or the things which are compulsorily to be mentioned in the labels. Prescription labels for investigational drugs should be distinguishable from the other labels, and there should be an appropriate legend to be mentioned. Legend means a specific marking, okay, or heading. Okay, we can say this heading. Okay, investigational drugs. This should be mentioned always. Okay, over the labels. Then next point, preparing dosage forms. Pharmacists should prepare new dosage forms for taking by taking all the factors into consideration, like the stability of the drugs. Okay, definitely the most important criteria before choosing the dosage form. Okay, preparation of dosage form, which dosage form will be stable, or the drug will be stable in which type of dosage form. These different things are there, so it is needed to be studied first, and then should be decided as per the outcome or results of the studies. Then carry all the bacteriological tests needed for the drug. Then the potency and sterility of dosage form should be very importantly checked. Okay, potency, the effectiveness, the strength, and sterility, that is the uh, whether it is free from any microorganisms, so that are needed to be conducted over the prepared dosage form. Okay, next, dispensing of investigational drugs to both inpatient and outpatients. Pharmacists should maintain investigational drug inventory record. Okay, it is the responsibility of the pharmacist to maintain the record. Okay, importantly, the inventory record of these investigational drugs. Okay, the record should have the mentioning of name of drug, dosage form of the drug, strength, that is concentration of the drug, whatever lot number or batch number is there, that should be mentioned, as well as about information of the manufacturer should be there, like name, address, and details of contact number should be there. Okay, and also have the mentioning of the information required for placing the order of drugs. Okay, whenever it is required in more amount, then along further sufficient information for safe use of investigational drug must be provided to both inpatient as well as outpatient. Okay, it is very important thing. It doesn't, you should not make partialities, that if only inpatient, that is the patient admitted to the hospital, should be informed about that the investigational drug. Okay, you must provide such information about such drugs, okay, to outpatient also. Then another thing, it has to be maintained, like the amount of drug received from the manufacturer and amount of drugs dispensed or utilized by the patient in the hospital. They are needed to be maintained, okay, by the pharmacist itself. Then whatever unused material are there, unused investigational drugs, they should be returned to the principal investigator, or might be to the manufacturer, after completion of this study. And pharmacy department or the pharmacist has to do this thing. Okay, he has to maintain all the records of the inventory, what we can say, details of drugs utilization. Okay, next point, role, actually the last point of this topic, role of advisory committee in investigational use of drugs. See, in this case, the committee is there who advises about the different aspect of such investigational drugs. The name of committee is Generic Drug and Advisory Committee, which advises on the safety and effectiveness of human generic drug products, okay, which are used for treating different diseases. Okay, different diseases mean all these diseases. Let's see what is mentioned, a broad spectrum of human diseases. So this committee is advising about safety and effectiveness, how they should be done, and importantly for the generic drug products. Whereas, okay, the next one is the drug abuse advisory committee, with a person called as board in charge. Okay, that drug abuse advisory committee, which advises the FDA Commissioner about all the things, like on the scientific and medical evaluation of all information gathered by the Department of Health and Human Services, as well as the Department of Justice, with regard to important thing, along with the safety and efficacy, the abuse potential of the drug. Okay, very important thing, abuse potential, because some of the drugs were having this use which is called as abuse. Okay, which is having habitual properties. Okay, the recommendations are also there, the actions which are needed to be taken by the same department called as Department of Health and Human Services with regard to marketing, investigation and control of such drugs or other substances. So these advisory committee, okay, importantly earlier what it is called as generic drug advisory committee, and another second one is the drug abuse advisory committee. These both committees were having their specific role, okay, in advising about the actual use of the investigational drugs in the hospitals. The FDA regulates more than 1,50,000 marketed drugs as well as medical devices in the same figure. Okay, see, huge uh, number is there. Okay, that much number of marketed drugs are there as well as the medical devices. They are needed to be controlled or regulated by FDA, and in that, see, this 3,000 investigational new drugs are being developed. Okay, 3,000 means the research is going on continuously, and day by day the entry of new drugs are more. Okay, and in this topic what we are concerning the investigational drugs, okay, they are around 3,000 which are there, and they are again needed to be controlled by the FDA. Some of the materials like the dietary supplements, nowadays they are increasing. Okay, earlier the dietary supplement very less are there. Okay, some before some 20 or 30 years back, very less dietary supplements were available. Okay, nowadays there are lot of products available about supplementing, giving this nourishment to the child. Okay, before that is 30-40 years, no children necessary to be given for these supplements like Bonvita or Lakes. Okay, they are also growing without taking such supplements, and nowadays these fad is there actually. Okay, I'm not against them, but what I want to tell that these dietary supplement numbers are increasing. Okay, and also the example over here is Americans today have much more broader range of food choices, because again under the FDA, okay, they were having the administration of some of the food materials under them. Okay, there are scores of number of scores means there are number of blood products, okay, as well as many veterinary medicines which are there. Okay, and same FDA is responsible for that. So not only the medicines but also products like just I told the supplements, nutritionally supplements, these blood products and veterinary medicine. So these all are having new entries, means like in medicine, investigational drugs, here investigational blood product might be there, investigational veterinary medicine might be there. Okay, so they are many, and FDA has to control over there all the clinical trials or studies conducted for their effectiveness and safety. Okay, so there are many possibilities which can be done if the studies are there, and there might be a specific board which is called as institutional review board. Okay, who is authorized sometime by the FDA, or they might be having their own responsibility. It is independent review is performed in the institution where the trials are conducted, or might be the hospitals in which it is there. So that institutional review board, which is called as IRB, is also having a continuous watch over the trials studies which is conducted over investigational drugs. At any time the withdrawal can be possible, means the study can be stopped if any problem arises during the studies. Okay, if any side effect or serious problem, adverse effect or interaction, any possibilities are there, if they are found, the study is withdrawal. Then endpoint justification of clinical trial phases is needed to be given. Okay, whatever clinical trial has occurred, uh, whatever results has got there, uh, and whatever action has been taken, okay, needed to be provided with proper justification. Sometimes it is needed to go for repetition of specific phases. Okay, if studies the results are not satisfactory at that time, you can opt for phase repetition. Okay, and go for data integrity. You have to collect all the results of the studies so that you will be making certain conclusion over the uh, use of the drugs, whether it can be finalized for application or can be used as a general drug. Okay, general use is possible or not. Some other types of committee are also present in different hospital. Okay, it depends upon again type of hospital. Okay, in the first chapter we have studied in detail which are different possibilities of classifying hospital. So these committees are there which are also having certain concern about the investigational drugs, like infection control committee first. Okay, second, central sterile service supply committee. Excuse me. Then biodegradable waste committee and medical record committee. So these all different types of committees are also present in different hospital. Okay, you cannot say all will be present in a single, but as per the requirement or as per the type of hospital they can be. And generally the investigational drugs needed to be have a proper observation over their studies conducted. Okay, they should be recorded properly, whatever results were observed. Okay, and the record should be provided to the manufacturer or the uh, FDA, the regulatory authorities, as and when it is required. And once all the results are satisfactory, they can say that the drugs can be used as a medicine, not as a investigational, because you already completed the investigation over it. Okay, if the satisfactory results are obtained, then only. Okay, so, that is all about this investigational use of drug, the second last point of the syllabus. Okay, if any problem regarding this point, you can ask individually to me, or you can comment on the uh, to the WhatsApp, or you are having already the contact number of mine. So the last point which is remaining is the laboratory test, their interpretation, that we will be discussing in our next coming lecture. Thank you for your kind attention.